Plugin Alliance produces a large assortment of plugins. With so many options, it can be very difficult to decide which plugins to use. In this video, I'll be walking you through 12 of the best Plugin Alliance plugins. Hey, my name's Charles Hoffman. If you're interested in music production tutorials and gear roundups, consider subscribing to the Black Ghost Audio YouTube channel. The plugins a part of this list are tools that I use regularly. These aren't just alternatives to other devices that I own, they're the go-to tools I'm using for the functions they perform. If a product doesn't provide significant value beyond what's available from other plugin distributors, it didn't make this list. Each one of these plugins is free to download and demo for 14 days, so you can test them out for yourself. The Blackbox Analog Design HG2 is a tube processor that will find itself right at home on your stereo bus. It's used to add significant color and distortion to your audio signal, ranging from subtle to heavy processing. The HG2 will let you start crafting mixes that sound rich, full, loud, big, and punchy, all without altering peak levels. This unit lets you make use of 4 different vacuum tube stages combined in series. It also uses parallel circuits to color your sound with additional harmonic content. The HG2 has separate gain controls for its pentode and triode tubes and a rather useful density knob that lets you drive both tubes harder without changing the relative balance of either knob. Although there aren't that many controls on this device, there are so many parameter combinations you can create that the results you can expect will range from dark to bright, clean to distorted, and so on. The HG2 definitely has a signature sound, but it provides a wide variety of tones, which is what you want from a quality color box. The Brainworx BX Digital V3 is a mastering-grade mid-side EQ. It has 11 bands with various filter types including parametric bells, high and low shelves, and high and low passes. These filters can be applied to each channel: mono, dual mono, stereo, and mid-side. Also included in this EQ are imaging, monitoring, and metering sections that make it perfect for mastering. New to version 3 is a high-frequency band that reaches up to 40 kHz, a dynamic EQ module, API-style proportional Q filters, and 6 notch filters in total. There are also bass and present shifters, which apply one of 3 different tilt filters. I reach for the BX Digital V3 when I'm working on a transparent master. Many clients like the quality of their mix, but just need some clean stereo bus processing to format their song appropriately for its desired playback medium. This device has a transparent sound thanks to its minimum phase design that reduces phase shift and frequency masking. While many limiters are made for mastering and help you to compress your audio signal into just below the ceiling of your DAW, some limiters like the Brainworx BX limiter are explicitly made for individual tracks and buses. The thing I like about this limiter is that it allows you to apply gain reduction without simultaneously increasing the output level of your signal. An example of when I may use the Brainworx BX limiter is when I'm processing a group of pop vocals. I might have a thick vocal stack summing together that I need to control somehow. Once I've processed and set all the individual track levels within the bus, I'll sometimes choose to apply a limiter to the end of my bus processing. This acts to tame transients that result from the individual tracks summing together, making setting the level of my vocal bus against other buses slightly easier. Another feature on this limiter that I particularly like is the XL saturation knob. It applies a warm form of saturation up to about 40 to 50% that seems to lend itself very well to many different types of applications. Beyond the halfway mark, you can expect tones more useful for creative sound design. There are lots of metering plugins available from other companies, but I'm a huge fan of the Brainworx BX meter. I mainly like it because a majority of the critical metering values that I'm concerned with are presented to me in a compact, sleek interface. Other plugins can do the exact same thing, but I just happen to prefer how this device is laid out. This meter provides peak, RMS, and dynamic range metering, peak hold and RMS functions, stereo, link, and mid-side modes, balance and correlation meters, solo buttons for left, right, mid, and side signals, A, C, and K weighted filters, and floating dynamic LEDs. I'll usually toss this onto my stereo bus and keep it open on a separate monitor while I'm mixing. This lets me quickly refer to essential track information without disrupting my workflow. Providing a mono signal with stereo width can sometimes prove to be quite challenging. The issue is that depending on the device or technique you use, you can run into phase issues. Phase issues are something to look out for anytime you start widening elements in your mix. Even if your mix sounds great in stereo, when the left and right channels sum together through mono playback systems, your mix may not hit as hard as you had intended, or you may experience complete phase cancellation. The Brainworx BX Stereo Maker allows you to add stereo width to a mono signal while maintaining mono compatibility. It creates a virtual side signal with analog-style filters using Brainworx mid-side stereo algorithms. The plugin lets you adjust the stereo width added to the monosource signal from 0 to 300%. There's also a high damp knob that lets you tame harsh high-frequency content. One of my favorite features on this plugin is the mono frequency knob. It lets you keep your low end in mono up to 250 Hz and then spread the frequency content above the crossover point you've selected. If you're looking for a new drum bus compressor or stereo bus compressor, you just found it. This plugin seeks to emulate its analog counterpart built in 1978 that was created with components supplied by SSL. I find this compressor has a somewhat warm sound, but it still manages to maintain the punch and shimmering top end of the signal that you run through it. When color is the goal, the Brainworx BX Townhouse bus compressor is an excellent option. Works well on synths, pianos, guitars, drums, and even full mixes. It's also a great option if you're looking to perform New York-style compression, since you can crank the ratio up to 10:1. This plugin expands on the features of the original hardware unit by including an internal sidechain and dry-wet mix control. Many mastering limiters use a single band to compress the entire audio signal, while others use multiple bands. However, not very many limiters allow you to compress your mid-highs, mid-lows, and sides independent of one another. This is how the Brainworx BX XL V2 works, and it will enable you to improve mix clarity and maintain punch at the final stage of your mastering process. By making use of X-phase crossover filters, the Brainworx BX XL V2 splits the plugin's input signal and lets you limit, level adjust, and saturate each signal independent of the others. That's right, you can saturate each signal using the same XL saturation found in the Brainworx BX limiter. With all these features packed into one unit, the BX XL V2 is the perfect mastering limiter for achieving loud masters that don't sound squished or distorted. The Dangerous Music BAX EQ is a mid-side and left-right minimum phase EQ suited for tracking, mixing, and mastering. It will allow you to make broad EQ adjustments affecting wide frequency ranges. It's marketed as a smooth sounding EQ, but you shouldn't confuse smooth with transparent. As soon as you add this EQ to your signal chain, it's going to color your input signal. In most cases, it actually has quite a desirable sound. I'll often use this EQ while mastering to balance out a mix that I think just needs a little bit more or less low-end presence or more or less top-end shine. You're not going to be able to perform surgical processing with this EQ, but that's not what it's intended for. If you're looking for a tone-shaping tool, the Dangerous Music BAX EQ is a great choice. The Elysia Alpha compressor is a 100% discrete Class A analog modeled software compressor. It's a real smooth compressor, perfect for putting the final touches on a mix. This unit provides you with the ability to compress your mids and sides independent of one another when you deactivate channel link and engage mid-side mode. You're not going to get a really crushed sound from this compressor because the Alpha won't allow for it. Its controls more than subtly indicate what the device is intended for. Mastering. Attack times range from 0.01 milliseconds to 150 milliseconds, release times range from 60 milliseconds to 1800 milliseconds, and the ratio of both compressors maxes out at 2.4:1. The Alpha provides oversampling, selectable feed-forward and feedback designs, sidechain filters, parallel compression, soft clip limiters, and warm modes that are modeled after the switchable transformer circuits of the hardware unit. All around, this is an excellent semi-versatile mastering compressor that will suit a wide array of mixes. If you've recorded vocals with a microphone that has provided a tone that's somewhat darker than you had intended, there's a good chance that the Noveltech Vocal Enhancer can help you out. It applies many different forms of processing based on your input signal to enhance vocals or other instruments. This vocal enhancer sculpts and emphasizes characteristics that are present in your original signal, but it doesn't create content that wasn't there before. I have no doubt that you could perform processing similar to this plugin using various other devices, but the thing I like about this is that it's quick and easy to use. I'll usually start by dialing in the enhancement knob's amount, then I'll focus in on the frequency I want to affect with the focus frequency knob, and finally, I'll adjust the low and high crossover frequency points. The Vertigo VSC2 is a quad discrete VCA compressor intended for bus compression. This has what I would describe as a slightly more aggressive and heavily weighted sound than the previously mentioned Townhouse bus compressor. I don't think it's quite as versatile as the Townhouse, but it certainly serves a purpose on your drum bus or on bright acoustic material. I could see this compressor performing quite well on a rock mix as well. When you set the ratio of this compressor to 10:1, it has a very apparent squashed character that I absolutely love when applied in parallel. If you're feeling really wild, you can even engage the unit's brick mode, which causes the unit to function like an analog limiter by cutting off peaks at the set threshold level. You can choose between 60 and 90 Hz sidechain filters, which will cause just the frequencies above the cutoff point to trigger the compressor's threshold. Engaging the sidechain filter will allow the compressor to breathe a little bit and not respond so aggressively. The final notable feature of the Vertigo VSC2 is the stereo mono switch that switches the unit between stereo and dual mono mode. I like saturation just as much as the next guy, but there aren't that many mastering grade saturators that I'm drawn to outside the realm of tape machine emulations. There's something about the Vertigo VSM3 saturator that is clean enough to not significantly alter a mix, but still provide the color I'm looking for. The VSM3 has two independent virtual circuits that provide two kinds of color, ranging from subtle to heavy distortion. Engaging the second harmonic FET crusher will result in warm, rich saturation, and engaging the third harmonic Zener blender will result in bright, clear saturation. It's possible to route the crusher and blender either in parallel or serial with one another, providing significantly different sounds. Like other plugins on this list, you can apply processing to the entire stereo signal, mid-signal, or side signal. The VSM3 provides you with enough control to make use of it at a mastering level, and it also serves up enough features to use it in your mix. It sounds great on drums, bass, synths, and anything else that could benefit from some sizzling saturation. Whether you mix and master your own music or do work for others, the tools on this list are going to help simplify and streamline your workflow. Each one of these plugins is free to download from the Plugin Alliance website, and you can demo each product for 14 days. Spend some time with these plugins to figure out which ones work for you. If you like this video, make sure to hit that subscribe button and also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Black Ghost Audio. In the comments section down below, you'll find a link to enter our giveaways. We give away tons of music production software and hardware, so it's definitely something you should check out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.